Program hails all the way from Bloemfontein and has been tirelessly in pursuit of solidifying himself as an established musician. Throughout his musical career, King Davis has shared stages with some of South Africa's bright stars and has also dabbled in theatre productions. Now, his recent body of work is a tribute to the late struggle stalwart Oliver Tambo and has been enjoying airplay on quite a number of local radio stations. He's currently working on a full Afro-soul album titled I Write What I Like. He now joins me in studio to tell us more about himself and his work. King Davis, a very good morning. Welcome.
Thank you for having me and welcome to the viewers.
Well, it's so good to have you.
Viewers, yes.
Now, your new project is a tribute to Oliver Tambo.
Yes.
What was it about his legacy that captivated you, that also inspired you to, to dedicate this album to him?
Okay, to be honest with you, it's his work. It's the things that he has done for this country. And I felt like we as young people, we don't embrace our leaders.
Yeah.
You know, we don't take interest in our history. So after I learned what Oliver Tambo has done for our country, and I decided that I have to honor this man. I have to do this album. I could have done, an Afro-soul album, sing about love like any other Afro-soul artist, but I felt like, we are never, patriotic with what is happening in our country. Yeah. We don't say much, good things about our country, our leaders. Yeah. So, and then looking at Oliver Tambo or, his contribution to our freedom, I felt like I have to honor him. Mm-hmm. So it was quite very exciting to do his album. And I knew that, it's not everybody's cup of tea, not everybody, because some of my peers were like, hey, man, are you sure? What are, I mean, there's genres that are popular now. People are asking me, why not do that? Why not do that? And I was like, and I was very comfortable when I was doing this album. I was in a good space.
In a good space indeed. And the title of the album, I Write What I Like, is it perhaps an extension of your tribute to his legacy, or is it just your personal story?
Yes, it's more like I write what I like. I don't need any approval. I don't need to, to follow what is out there. I do what I want to do at that specific time, depending, my mood, how I feel at that particular time. So with Oliver Tambo, it was basically like, because I did a couple of covers, just to get people to remember, the struggle songs that they sing about him. And then I also write original songs. I've got original songs that I wrote from the scratch, me saying thank you, thank you for what you've done for this country. I appreciate you. And, we honor you, and Tambo never got, the recognition like other leaders, like, former President Nelson Mandela got. And, I think he was able to keep the liberation struggle for this long, but he's not getting so much recognition even from artists, and I took it to myself to honor him.
Yeah. Let's talk about the tone of this album. What genre would you classify it under?
I like to say it's more on the Afro-pop, because I'm from that background as well. Okay. Of course, I do have like your slow, sad songs, not sad in a bad way, sad in a sense of you miss him. Yes. I did, like I said, I did a couple of the struggle songs. I have a song that, actually the song that inspired me to actually do this album, I have a song that I wrote from the scratch. It's called Vusani, uTambo.
Vusani, uTambo.
Vusani, wake him up, The reason for that song, it was because of what was happening in the political space. And I felt like if he was there, he would speak a lot of sense.
Things would have been different.
Yes, he was one of the most, intelligent leader that this country has ever produced. So whenever there's like tensions and politicians are fighting, or even within the liberation struggle, when they don't see eye to eye, that, rumors, the SG and the president don't get along, whatever the case. And I would think if Tambo was here, he would have said something more profound, something that makes sense. That's why I wrote the song, Vusani, uTambo.
Now, King, you were also appointed as the Free State head of the Province for National Music Association called ECHO, which serves to represent the interest of African independent labels. Why was this important to you? Oh, yes. That one, I was actually very honored to be appointed to do that. That one represents the independent record companies. Okay. Because you must remember, back in the days, the likes of Abo Brenda Fassie, Keifa Simenya, you name them, they used to be signed by these big international companies. You hear stories that some of the artists don't have their music, they can't get the rights to their music, they can't do this, they don't own it. Some die paupers because they don't own the product. So, ECHO encourages,
black independent record companies to own their music. So in the province, I was appointed to head that. So that was quite a very good privilege for me. I was very honored to do that.
Are you also looking to own your own music in terms of producing and writing your own music?
Yes, I actually do own this Oliver Tambo album. I remember when I co-presented to record company, this big record company, because I was looking for a distribution deal. They would say, no, man, we need to sign it over. And I'm like, nah. I'm smarter now.
Right. You got this.
Yes, I've got this. After all, I'm representing independent record companies. So they were being encouraged to own our own music, own our intellectual property.
How challenging or difficult was it to go solo? Because I believe this is your first solo project, isn't it?
It's very difficult to go solo. You must remember now in the studio you've got a team, and I've got a very good, a productive team. The guys that I used to sing with, it's a lady, Mpoja, Nawari, and Tabang. They are very productive. We write together. So I'm used to, working together with people when we write songs. And sometimes I would write something and Mpo would say, no, don't make it sound like this. She would write something or say, no. Now I was alone. I had to see to it that this project comes out and it must sound very good. Sure. And mind you, I'm singing about this hero. I'm singing about this icon, so you can imagine the scrutiny that went through on this album.
When can you expect a full album?
The album is actually out on digital platforms, iTunes and all the digital platforms, but the physical copy should be ready sometime next week. And I'm happy to announce that my album would be available also in libraries, because it's got it's education element on it, which is to teach people who are interested to learn about Oliver Tambo or even their heroes for that matter. Next month I'm launching it in the Free State. Yes.
Okay. Details?
Yes, I'm launching it there's a place called Civic Theatre. It's actually on the 7th of December.
Okay.
I'm actually inviting all the people to come forth, and they must also follow me on all my social media platforms.
All right. King Davis, all the best, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this.
All right. That was King Davis talking to us about his project dedicated to the late Oliver Tambo, as well as his upcoming album titled I Write What I Like. This is Morning Love. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more.